Start with the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Dear students of class first year, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you are well, you are doing great with your studies, and you are doing work hard. Dear students, today we have English lecture number 19, and this is grade first year and unit 4, acquiring values. And today we are going to learn reading selection 4.2, a long walk home. Dear students, in the last lecture, we completed the reading selection 4.1, and it was about the scholarship jacket. So today we have started reading selection 4.1, a long walk home. Dear students, is page number from 96 to 99, and has your teacher, Sarfaz Nadeem. So let's start the English lecture number 19 and unit 4.2, reading selection, a long walk home. Pre-reading, dear students, we have about reading selection 4.2, a long walk home. In this story, a young man takes his father to a village for some show and to repair the car. He was to pick his father at 4 p.m., but he got late by 2 hours due to watching movies. He tells his father that the car had some big problem, but his father had already found out that the car had been ready before 4 p.m. What do you think was the reaction of his father to his son's lying to him? Did he punish him? Did he rebuke him? Now, dear students, this is kind of example. You think that if you will be on this side, means if your father told you that I have an urgent work and you are 2 hours late, what will be the reaction of your father? Or what should be the reaction of his father here in the lesson? Do you think, first of all, it's a pre-reading? So let's start the lesson, and please open page number 96. Here we have reading selection 4.2, a long walk home, and this is Jason Boquero. I grew up in the south of Spain in a little community called Estepona. I was 16 when one morning my father told me I could drive him into a remote village called Mijas, about 18 miles away, on the condition that I take the car in to be serviced at a nearby garage. Having just learned to drive and hardly never having the opportunity to use the car, I readily accepted. I drove Dad into Images and promised to pick him up at 4 p.m. Then drove to a nearby garage and dropped off the car. Because I had a few hours to spare, I decided to catch a couple of movies at a theater near the garage. However, I became so immersed in the films that I completely lost track of time. When the last movie had finished, I looked down at my watch. It was 6 o'clock. I was 2 hours late. I knew Dad would be angry if he found out I would been watching movies. He would never let me drive again. I decided to tell him that the car needed some repairs and that they had taken longer than had been expected. I drove up to the place where we had planned to meet and saw Dad waiting patiently on the corner. I apologized for being late and told him that I would come as quickly as I could, but the car had needed some major repairs. I'll never forget the look he gave me. Dear students, now in these two paragraphs, hope so you understood what the narrator wants to say. Jason Boquero, the narrator of the story, grew up in the south of Spain in a little community of Stepona. He was 16 years old. One morning, his father asked him to drive him to a village called Meges. It was about 18 miles away. His father asked him that after dropping him, take the car to a nearby garage to be serviced. Jason drove his father to the village, then he drove the car to the garage. As he had plenty of time, he decided to watch a couple of movies at a theater near the garage. He had already promised his father to pick him up at 4 p.m., but he became busy in watching the movies that he completely forgot his promise. When he reached to pick his father, it was already 6 o'clock. His father was still there waiting for him. Now, what happened? Jason told his father. What told? Page number 97, dear students. Here we have. I'm disappointed that you feel you have to lie to me, Jason. Now, Jason's father told to Jason that I'm disappointed that you feel you have to lie to me, Jason. What do you mean? I'm telling the truth, Jason said. Dad looked at me again when you did not show up. I called the garage to ask if there were any problems, and they told me that you had not yet picked up the car. So you see, I know there were no problems with the car. A rush of guilt ran through me as I feebly confessed my trip to the movie theater and the real reason for my tardiness. Dad listened intently as sadness passed through him. Now, dear students, Jason told his father that the car needed some major repairs and that was the reason he was late. But his father gave him an unforgettable look by replying that he had called the garage to ask about the repairs. But they told him that there was no problem with the car. Then he confessed, the Jason confessed that he had gone to watch movies. On this, his father became angry and said that he failed as a father to bring up a son who could not even tell the truth to his own father. What's he said? I'm angry not with you but with myself. These are the words of the father, dear students. I'm angry not with you but with myself. You see, I realize that I have failed as a father. If after all these years you feel that you have to lie to me, I have failed because I have brought up a son who cannot even tell the truth to his own father. I'm going to walk home now and contemplate where I have gone wrong all these years. But dad, it's 18 miles to home. It's dark. You can't walk home. Now, dear students, in this paragraph, the father is ashamed on himself that I'm not angry with my son, but I'm angry with myself that how I have brought up a son who is going to lie to his own father. And he said, now I'm going to walk home and I will think all the way that where I have gone wrong all these years, that you are lying to me today. But son insisted a lot to his father that dad, it's dark now, it's 18 miles to home. But his father didn't listen. My protest, my apologies, and the rest of my attorneys were useless. I had let my father down and I was about to learn one of the most painful lessons of my life. Dad began walking along the dusty roads. I quickly jumped in the car and followed behind, hoping he would relent. I pleaded all the way, telling him now, sorry, I was. But he simply ignored me, continuing on silently, thoughtfully, and painfully. For 18 miles, I drove behind him, averaging about 5 miles per hour. Seeing my father in so much physical and emotional pain was the most distressing and painful experience that I have ever faced. However, it was also the most successful lesson. I have never lied to him since. Dear students, hope so you understood the story. I wanted to again repeat in simple words that Jason's father refused to sit with him in the car. He started his journey on foot towards home. It was 18 miles away. He apologized and requested continuously, but his father did not listen to him. For 18 miles, he drove his car behind his father at a very low speed. This was a painful experience for him to see his father in physical and emotional pain. This experience gave him a great lesson, and he never lied to his father again. So, dear student, this is the lesson: a long walk home, a lesson for a student, a lesson for a son, and is lesson for all of you that if you're a student and if you're a son, you are supposed to be even daughter, you are not supposed to lie to your parents at any cost. Dear students, on page number 9-8, we have new vocabulary. Few words are here: distressing, encourage, guilt, hardly, intently. I think it's very easy for you to get the meaning from this page from 9-8. Then, dear students, we have page number 9-9, a long walk home study. Questions are given over here. The first question is: why did Jason Redley agree to drive his father to Midges? Jason had just learned how to drive a car, just learned. He did not get much chance to use the car. His father offered him to drive him to Midges, a village about 18 miles away from their home. He offered Jason on the condition that he would take the car to the nearby service station to get it serviced. It was an opportunity for Jason to drive the car, so he readily accepted the offer. So, dear students, second question: what excuse did Jason invent as an explanation for his being late? I think it's very easy. So, we have few questions over here, interpreting and extending as well. Then we have a language study about the adverbs. You are well aware about adverbs. So, this is the lesson, dear students: a long walk home, reading selection 4.2. We have completed our lesson. I tried to explain it in very easy words, and inshallah you will be able to get the notes as soon as possible. Inshallah, I'll send you the message about it. Dear students, this is about the poet Jason Boquero. Was born in Stepona, Spain. This story is taken from Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul, a collection of real life stories meant to give lessons to the teens. Bucaro lives in the United States. Actually, this is about the Jason, and he's wrote this kind of story for the teenage, especially the people, students, are the boys, are the girls, teenage, and you are not supposed to be live at any cost, especially none don't speak to live with none and know any person, but especially not to parents. Dear students, today we have a question punctuation marks. As you're well aware that in class first year, we have the 4 number questions, might be 3. So we must know the important punctuation marks. What are the punctuation marks and where we are used and where we use this. So let's learn the punctuation marks. You can see over here in this picture, dear students, punctuation marks are given. You can see all are here. Punctuation are marks used in printing and writing the separate sentences and clauses to help make the meaning of sentences more clear. Commas, periods, and question marks are examples of punctuation. Other definition, you can say that a set of symbols and marks which are used to clarify meaning in text by separating strings of words into clauses, phrases, and sentences. Now here we have 14. What are the 14 punctuation marks in English grammar? Major 14. There are 14 punctuation marks that are commonly used in English grammar. They are the period, question mark, exclamation point, comma, semicolon, colon, dash, hyphen, parenthesis, brackets, braces, apostrophe, quotation marks, and ellipses. Following their correct usage will make your writing easier to read and more appealing. Sentence endings. 3 of the 14 punctuation marks are appropriate for use as sentence endings. Dear students, 3. They are the period, question mark, and the exclamation point. The period is placed at the end of the declarative sentence. In other words, you called it as a full stop as well. Statements thought to be complete and after many abbreviations. As a sentence ender, like Ahmad and Ali went to the market, now we put here full stop. After an abbreviation, how her son Muhammad Ali Jr., now look over here, the full stop is given, and then comma, was born on December 6, 2008. Use a question mark like question to indicate a direct question when placed at the end of a sentence. When did Ahmad leave for the market? This question is given, question mark. The exclamation point like this is used when a person wants to express a sudden outcry or add emphasis, like within dialogue, angry cow screamed Ali. Now, angry cow, we give over here the exclamation mark. To emphasize a point, my mother-in-law's reigns make me furious. Now, even over here, you can see the exclamation point is given. Comma, semicolon, and colon, dear students, are given over here. You can see the comma, semicolon, and colon are often misused because they all can indicate a pause in a series. The comma is used to show a separation of ideas or elements within the structure of a sentence. Additionally, it is used in numbers, dates, and letter writing after the salutation and closing. Direct address like thanks for all your help, John. Now here we put the comma. Thanks for all your help and John, then full stop. So thanks for all your help. It's the sense is going to complete. A pause is given because even the name is more to write. So give comma. Separation of two complete sentences like we went to the movies and then we went to the movies and then we went out to lunch. So here commas after complete sentence are independent clause. We went to the movies. Separating list or elements within sentence means within sentence. Susie wanted the black, green, and blue dress. Now here what we have elements like kind of black, green, and blue. Whether to add a final comma before the conjunction in a list is a matter of debate. This final comma, known as an Oxford or serial comma, is useful in a complex series of elements or phrases, but is often considered unnecessary in a simple series, such as in the example above. It is usually comes down to style choice by the writer. Now, dear students, we have a semicolon. Look, this is the semicolon in the mark is used to connect independent clauses. What to connect? Independent clauses. It shows a closer relationship between the clauses and then a period would show. Like John was hurt. Now it's a independent clause. And again, another independent clause is given. He knew she only said it to upset her. Now here we have an independent clause, another we have. So we want to add both of independent clause, we use semicolon. And what about the colon? A colon like has three main uses. How many? Three. The first is after a word introducing a quotation, an explanation, an example, or a series. How? He was planning to study for subjects. Now look, colon, which subjects? Politics, philosophy, sociology, and economics. Means we gave over here the colon because we have to describe the subjects. Now the second is between independent clauses, and when the second explain the first, similar to a semicolon. Like I didn't have time to get changed. I was already late. Now here independent clause is given over here both. I didn't have to time to get changed. I was already late. Both. The third use of a colon is for emphasis. Like there was one thing she loved more than any other, her dog. A colon also has known grammatical uses in time, ratio, business, correspondence, and references. Here, dear students, you can see dash and the hyphen. Now, two marks are here. Number one is dash and the hyphen. Two other common punctuation marks are the dash and the hyphen. These marks are often confused with each other due to their appearance, but they are very different. A dash is used to separate words into statements. There are two common types of dashes, and dash and am dash. First of all, what is and dash? Twice as long as a hyphen. The and dash is a symbol like this. Dear student, you can see over here that is used in writing to or printing to indicate a range, connections, or differentiations. Different differentiations such as 1880, 1945 means 1880 to 1945, or Princeton, New York trains. M dash longer than M dash. Then M dash can be used in place of comma, parenthesis, or colon to enhance readability or emphasize the conclusion of a sentence. For example, she gave him her answer. Now the you can say that dash is given more long than the end dash. Now, whether you put spaces around the M dash or not is a style choice. Just be consistent. A hyphen is used join two or more words together into compound term and is not separated by spaces. For example, part-time. Now look over there. Part-time means we separated two words with a hyphen. Back to back, back, then hyphen, to, then hyphen. Well known like this. Brackets, braces, and parentheses. Brackets, braces, and parentheses are symbols used to contain words that are further explanation or are considered a group. Dear students, you can see over here brackets, braces, and parentheses. Braces, and parentheses are symbols used to contain words that are further explanation or are considered a group. Brackets are the squad of notations like this used for technical explanations or to clarify meaning. If you remove the information in the brackets, the sentence will still make sense. Like he, Mr. Jones means now Mr. Jones is telling more about the he. He means who? Mr. Jones. So that is given in bracket. Was the last person seen at the house. So that is called bracket. Now braces is same are used to contain two or more lines of text or listed item to show that they are considered as a unit. They are not commonplace in most writing, but can be seen in computer programming to show what should be contained within the same lines. They can also be used in mathematical expressions, for example, like this. This is example is given. And parentheses, these are curved notation used to contain further thoughts for or qualifying remarks. However, parentheses can be replaced by commas without changing the meaning in most cases. John and Jane, who were actually half brother and sister, both have red hair. Now, John and Jane both have red hair. Now, here the parenthesis like who were actually half brother and sister, there are that sentence is given over here to tell more about John and Jane means who John and Jane, who were actually half brother and sister, both have red hair. So dear students, this is here we use the parenthesis in the sentence. And here we have apostrophe, quotation marks, and ellipses. How many? Three marks are given over here as well. The final three punctuation forms in English grammar are the apostrophe, quotation marks, and the ellipses. Unlike previously mentioned grammatical marks, they are not related to one another in any form. An apostrophe, this is the mark of an apostrophe, students, is used to indicate the omission of a letter or letters from a word. The possessive case are the plurals of the lowercase letter. Examples of the apostrophe is in use include like omission of letters from a word. I've seen that movie. Now look over here. means this is I have seen. So we uh, omit the H and A and we give only VE, then I, and then apostrophe. I've seen that movie several times. She wasn't the only one who knew the answer. Possessive case we use in also possessive case the apostrophe. Sarah's dog bit the neighbor. Which dog bit the neighbor? Sarah. So here, after the Sarah, there is apostrophe given before the S. So this is a possessive case. In other words, you can say this is a possessive noun, Sarah's case. And it is also used in dear students in possessive pronoun, like uh, sometimes we use Sarah's case. But in possessive pronoun, we don't use this, like we use her, your, did, mine. But here, Sarah's, Ali's book, Ahmad's pen. Plural of lowercase letters, six people were told to mind their P's and Q's. Means here we say P's and Q's. It should be noted that according to Purdue University, some teachers and editors enlarge the scope of the use apostrophe. Okay, quotation marks. Now here this quotation. Quotation marks are given like this, are a pair of punctuation marks used primarily to mark the beginning and end of a passage attributed attributed to another and repeated word for word. They are also used to indicate meaning and to indicate the unusual or dubious status of a word. Don't go outside, she said. Now here, don't go outside, we put over here in quotation marks. Single quotation marks like this, and this is double, are used most frequently for quotes within quotes. Mary told the teacher, I saw Mark at the playground and he said to me, Bill started the fight and I believed him. Now, last one, ellipsis, is most commonly represented by three periods like this, one, two, three dots, in other words, although it is occasionally demonstrated with three asterisks like this, dear students. The ellipsis is used in writing or painting to indicate an omission, especially of letters or words. Ellipses are frequently used within quotations to jump from one phrase to another, omitting unnecessary words that do not interfere with copying lengthy text that is not needed with the meaning. Students writing research papers, newspapers, quoting parts of speeches will often employ ellipses to avoid. Now here given examples. Omission of words, she began to count 1, 2, 3, 4, dash, dash, until she got to 10, then went to find him. Now 4 we have tried 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5, 6, 7 are now omitted. Okay, and then 10 is given over there. This is omission within a quotation, like when Newton stated, an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. So, dash, he developed the law of motion. So, here, dear students, same like this, that we are given that within a quotation, we have this is quotation within quotations. So, this is about the apostrophe, quotation marks, and ellipses. Hope so, dear students, you understood. But here in the last, we have British versus American English. There are a few differences between punctuation in British and American English. The following charts detail some of those differences. Now look over here, dear students. We have a British English and American English. The symbol is called, now what is here? Uh, what is in British English we call full stop, and in American English we call a period, and a symbol is called exclamation mark is over here, and it is exclamation point, and in brackets parenthesis in American English, square bracket brackets. Joy means happiness, joy means happiness. So like this, doctor, then comma, Mr., comma, punctuation for abbreviations, and doctor full stop, then comma, Mr. full stop, then comma. This is American English, and we use this in British English, the position of quotation marks like this. So dear students, this is all about today's lecture. Hope so you understood. Today we learned about the reading selection 4.2 on page 96, and then also we learned about the punctuation marks, 14 punctuation marks, which are very important and commonly used in English And definitely we have a question in our annual examination of English paper about the punctuations. So you have to punctuate the line or para which will be given to you in a question paper. I hope so you will do it properly, because after this, if you have even any question, any query, any problem, I'm at the Zoom, you can ask me question. And till that, dear students, thank you for joining, and Allah Hafiz.